everyone. Welcome back to the Jill Lublin Show. It is a delight to have you here today, and we have a very special guest, Caroline Chang. She, has been producing and hosting Awake to Oneness Radio for 9 years, and she was inspired to launch her podcast after her son Kyle passed away. Caroline has been featured in documentary films, and she's also a journalist and columnist. She writes op-ed articles, and she is a wonderful bridge for bridging spirituality and science, which I'm excited to talk to her about. And she's also written a book, chapter in a book, and has her own book coming out soon. So welcome, Caroline.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm curious about the science meets spirituality part. So tell us about that for a moment.
Of course. Well, it was the catalyst to my spiritual awakening was science. And that happened for me in 2007. I knew nothing about quantum physics, but I was watching a documentary that maybe some of your listeners might be familiar with. It's What the Bleep Do We Know?
Yeah, loved it.
Yes, I was watching that in 2007, and I watched the entire thing like almost nonstop. I had the original and the extended version, not realizing the extended version was just a longer version of the original. I didn't need both, but it was one sentence. I love sharing this. It was one sentence that was the catalyst to my awakening. Lynn McTaggart, who's been a guest on my show a couple of times, she's a journalist, and she writes a lot about science, quantum physics. And she said one sentence. That sentence was, the biggest problem in the world today is the illusion of separation. Now, when she said that, something woke up inside of me. It was not from the mind. It was from my heart. It was a heart and soul. When she said that, something inside my heart and soul said, yes, that's it. That is the one piece that was missing for me, because I'd been studying metaphysics and spirituality off and on since the early mid-'80s. And I always felt, I get it, this stuff is great, but there's something missing. There's one piece missing, and that was the one piece. There is no separation. There is only God, all that is, source, whatever name, God will answer to whatever name you want to call him. And source energy we're all a part, and not just a part, holographic aspect of all that is. And science has proven it. This isn't new science either. Quantum physics has been around for over 120 years. This is something everybody on the planet should know by now. It's that there is no separation. We fight over politics, we fight over, there's this race and all these different things we find to divide us, when in truth, we're all one. And ancient wisdom has been teaching the universal truth of oneness for eons. Spirituality has been teaching the universal truth, oneness, also known as the law of one. And now even science. So all three areas of, science, ancient wisdom, spirituality, it is all telling us the same thing. There is no true separation. We're all divine aspects of God, all that is. And that was like it for me. It was like, I get it now. Everything made sense to me when I understood that one simple universal truth, that there is no separation.
And is that what you describe as oneness?
Yes. Oh, yes. Like I said, I launched my podcast in March of 2015, shortly after my son transitioned. Now both my children are in spirit. My son transitioned July 1st of 2014, and my daughter transitioned to spirit. And I say transition because I know there's no such thing as death. My daughter transitioned December 5th of 2022. So wow. She's been in spirit just a little over a year and a half. My son, we just celebrated my son's 10th anniversary in spirit, July 1st. So now he's been in spirit. But I know I actually we'll share where people can go to my YouTube channel and actually hear my son's voice from spirit.
Oh.
So And you mentioned that.
Was he young when he passed?
Yes, he was 29 when he passed, and my daughter was 42 when she passed. But my son told me that when we got his voice on tape, he was trying to communicate with me through, it's called EVP, electronic voice phenomena, where I was having a reading gifted to me by one of my guests. She's an evidential medium. Her name is Suzanne Giesman, but he was literally trying to speak through the computer because the spirits can mess with the electronics. And that was the first time it had ever happened with her. And I'd never heard of it. That's the documentary that I'm a part of, featured in a documentary all about electronic voice phenomena, communicating with our loved ones through technology. So but he said to me, now this was on his birthday in November of 2016. And he said, "Ma, you have a book in you." And then when he said that, I'm like, I'm not ready. So I wasn't, but I'm working on that book now. So I am ready to write the book now.
That is wonderful. I'm sure you have much to share because I know one of your passions, well, you're a dynamic woman for sure. And I know one of your passions is for humanity to have a great awakening. What does that mean?
Oh, wow. I'm so excited about it because I am like, okay, now one of the things about me, I have always lived by my inner guidance. We all have that. But many of us just ignore it. Now, ever since I was a young child, I always listened to it. And sometimes, people would think, my family thought, okay, what's wrong with her? But I would always follow inner guidance. And so in March of 2020, my inner guidance, higher self, Holy Spirit, whatever name you want to use, said to me, humanity's great awakening has begun. That was in March of 2020 is when I got that message. And we all know what happened in March of 2020.
Wow.
So here's how I explain that. You know how, humanity's great awakening is all about humanity rising to a higher consciousness level of knowing more of who we are spiritually. Now, for water to become steam, what has to happen? For water, it has to boil.
Right.
Exactly. So that was the beginning of the boiling point for humanity, March 2020.
Wow.
Something had to happen. So, we all like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. This is all crazy. But it had to happen. Something had to happen to stir humanity so it would rise to a higher consciousness level. And right now we're 4 years into the boiling and we're like, I feel pretty much in the middle of humanity's transition. There's still more to go, but I believe right now, especially the second half of 2024, is everything is indicating is when things are going to really change quickly for humanity. Now, I've never tried to predict what's going to happen. All I know is ever since I got the inner nudge that humanity's great awakening is happening now, even all the craziness in the world, I'm like, I know it's all for a higher purpose. It's for our evolution, for humanity's great awakening, which has been spoken about from ancient times. We've been hearing about the Mayan calendar. All these things have indicated that it's time for humanity's great awakening.
Yes, I say amen to that.
Yes.
And, individuals, no matter what you believe, so what would you say we can do on a daily basis to stay focused, stay our best, and frankly, have our individual celebration and awakening? What would you say?
That is a wonderful question because it does start with each person. The awakening has to start with inside of us first before we actually see it in the outer world. The outer world is truly an illusion. And here's something that I love to share about 7th grade science. When we were studying molecules and atoms, my 7th grade science teacher said, we don't live in a solid world. Anything you put under a high-powered microscope what do? You see these tiny moving particles we called atoms. And inside those atoms is 99.9999% empty space. So the atom, which is what we call the building block of matter, is not even solid. We don't live in a solid. It appears, with our limited human senses, it appears to be solid. We don't live in a solid world. It's very dense, but it's still spiritual. It's not solid. So for us to actually perceive it, we have to believe it. We have to awaken to that truth inside of us, and then we start to perceive it. You see, so it, and for daily, okay, for me, here's what I do. I love to journal. I love to focus on every morning. I wake up, I grab my journal, I write down a whole page of what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful, oh, my bed is so warm and comfortable. I'm thankful, oh, I can take a nice hot shower. Those little things, we can be thankful for big things, little things, medium-sized things. And every now moment, I am thankful, even though my 2 children are in spirit. So as a mom, and my kids were my world, you know, but in the chapter I wrote, talks about what I went through before my son transitioned, where I tried to take my life when doctors said he wasn't going to live. But that was 3 years. I was blessed with a miracle and had him for 3 years longer. So but from that miracle, I decided I will never, ever, ever doubt God. I will always be grateful and thankful in every now moment. So I journal. If I get frustrated, because I mean, of course, I'm still human. I'm still in the human body. If I get frustrated about something, I remember to come to the now moment.
Yes.
And just deep breathe, take deep breath. And then I'll look and like, okay, is there anything actually wrong in this now moment? And I'm like, no, the sun is shining, the birds are singing, you know, and nature. That's another thing for me. I love being out in nature. So being out in nature, planting my feet on the ground, earthing to the ground, you know, being thankful in every now moment. If I get flustered or frustrated, I try to remember to come back to the now moment, because the now in truth is all there really is. That's been proven scientifically as well.
I think that's so powerful. And I join you, Caroline, every morning. I do 5 things. I just speak it. I don't even journal it, because for me, it's just a time thing, which I, do whatever works, right?
Right, exactly.
So I speak 5 things in the morning, and I speak 5 things at night that I'm grateful for. And I do it with my husband. He speaks it back to me. And we ask the question, what are 5 things you're grateful for?
Yes.
And, listen, if I'm having trouble thinking of one, the fact that I can speak and breathe and talk to you is a beautiful thing. Right?
Exactly. I'm always thankful for my health. I'm thankful for the smallest things, just a glass of water. Oh, my coffee in the morning. I love my coffee. I make the best coffee. So just like I said, just when you think about these simple things that you can be grateful for, because so many people spend so much of their day focusing on what they feel they lack, when in every now moment we have everything we need in every now moment.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And thank you for reminding us of all of this. So if you were to leave us with a last word, so to speak, never a last word, but what would you say?
Well, basically what I say to everybody is, what I try to do is just share in love and light what resonates in my heart and soul. But what I inspire people to do is not listen to me, to go within and tap in. And the only way we can really tap into our heart and soul is to quiet the monkey mind. So take deep breaths, listen to some nice music, soothing music, soak in a salt bath. Oh, I love to do that. Find whatever works for you to quiet that monkey mind and drop into the heart and soul, and just kind of listen, meditate and listen. Not pray, because prayer is good, but prayer is you're talking to God. Okay, meditating is you're listening to God. So we go in, we listen, and then we follow that inner guidance with inside your heart and soul.
Oh, that's beautifully said. And, most important thing is to have something every day to do, every day keep yourself as high and wonderful as possible.
Very true. Because you can't pour into another unless you're poured into yourself first. Self-care is not selfish. We have to take care of ourselves so we can take care of others.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. Caroline, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Can I let them know how they can find me if anybody's listening?
Absolutely. That was my next question, because I know they're going to want to find you. You're amazing.
Well, thank you. Well, again, it's my brand is Awake, the number 2 Oneness Radio. So if you Google Awake to Oneness Radio, you'll find my website. I'm on YouTube. I have Facebook, not Instagram anymore. But those, yeah, YouTube and my website and Facebook are the best ways to find me. Yes.
And the website is?
Awake to onenessradio.org.
Beautiful. You can never say it too much, right, everybody? Because
yes.
You're going to want to find her. Caroline, thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And everybody, thank you for being here today, for stopping by, for being the best you that you can be. And check out JillLublin.com. So look forward to helping you in any way I can. And remember to keep being kind. Yes. See you again.
Bye-bye.